Hi, it's Jane with Scraptastic and today is Tuesday. Not only that, but it is also chemo day, which meant while my husband was getting treatment, I found this store called Hobby Lobby, and a few things may have fallen into the cart, and that's where I'm sticking with it. Now, I will tell you, last night I've not had any sleep, so if you see bags under the eyes and you see that I'm really tired, yes I am. I'm extremely tired. I've been up for more than 24 hours without any sleep. Now, the first thing that I am going to tell you about is there are no finished items. I have not caught up on anything crochet related. I did start a knitted washcloth. The few minutes that I was waiting for my husband to come out, trying to stay awake. And let's just say that visit was interesting. We had someone that went to schedule the next visit in 2 weeks, and she didn't give us a date for disconnect of the pump. There was a CAT scan that was supposed to be ordered to see how things are going, and she didn't do that. And so, I had to go back up and ask for the disconnect date for the Thursday in July 6th and 8th. And then I asked about the CAT scan. She said, oh, well, she'll put it in. So, okay, fine. Now, we get home. There's a message on the phone. They want us to go to Montoursville, which is about 5 to 10 minutes further than the cancer center from us. We have a hospital right here in Lock Haven that can do the CAT scan. They did the last one. So, we had to call back and tell them, we live in Lock Haven. Can't they do it? So they're going to reschedule that and then let us know by phone sometime later, which I did forget to get the phone. Oh well, it'll ring. They'll leave a message, right? Okay. But before we get to the yarn, I have a little video to show you. It was talking about the gift that Miss Jeanette sent my way and a couple of other things. Talking about the comfort dolls and also a little tool that a lot of us quilters like to use. But let's not pay as much as we have to for it if we don't have to. So, that video I am going to insert here. Hi! I was asked what a comfort doll is, so I will tell you what a comfort doll is. Basically, I'm going to read this to you. Comfort doll is a small knitted doll or crocheted used by iCross Canada. Instead of using packing peanuts or bubble wrap to protect the delicate vials of HIV, AIDS drugs, and medical instruments, they use the dolls for packing. Okay, once the meds are unpacked, the dolls are then given to the children in the community there in Africa. Many of the children who receive dolls are also patients in the clinic, and unfortunately, some of them do pass away with the AIDS, HIV, and so they are buried with their dolls when they do die. There is a Facebook page for the knitting. It's called the Comfort Doll Project, and then there are some patterns, and you can get this at icross.ca, and there are some patterns there. Now I am going to show you, we have a gal that makes these, and when she makes her dolls, some of them have eyes, some of them don't, some have faces. She uses that fluffy, hairy yarns for hair, and as you can see, they have their little boots on, pants, a shirt, their face, and This is our girl. They make them about, these are about 5 inches, maybe 6 inches. Now, I made one according to the knitting pattern, and mine came out to be about 8 inches. And like I said, it was probably big enough to scare those children to death alone because it was so big and scary. But what she does is she actually uses size 3 and 4 or 5 knitting needle for these patterns, and then just follows the patterns. I think she has also done it in the past where she takes maybe 1 row off of those. Now, this was a crochet one that needs a lot of help, okay? And there's no face on it. It has a little hat instead of hair. Haven't put the face on, and then you have the little arms and the little feet, that kind of thing. Now, I made this like really quick, trying to remember how I used to make the crocheted dolls. And I will tell you, I've used D hook and F hook for these. Generally, what I have done is I've cast on or chain 20 or 21, you know, depending. Then I do 1 to 3 rows of single crochet in each stitch across to make the shoes. The pants, I'll do about 5 rows, and I generally just change the color there. For the shirt, you do another 4 to 5 rows, and it's all single crochet across. And then the face is another 4 to 5 rows. And then if you choose to do a hat or hair, if you do a hat, you just do 4 more rows, finish it off. You can do it a straight rectangle and then sew it up, or you can do it in the round. Either way is fine. A lot of people do it that way. But if you're doing hair, then you would add your hairy yarn in and hold it together with the yarn that you're knitting or crocheting to create hair for those. Like I said, some of the dolls' faces, we do put faces on them, embroider or something. But basically for the arms, you're just doing 1 or 2 stitches here to create a little indentation for arms. And then the same for the rear end. The split between the legs. Some people go in a couple of stitches, decrease a couple for the pants, then do the shirt, add a couple, and then decrease when they start the face. There's a lot of ways to do it. The whole idea is just basically get that, as best you can in a pattern for that. That is what a comfort doll is. Now, being a quilter, one of the things I always love is that little organizer thing that I can put all my pens, pencils, marking tools, slip my scissors down in. I think you've seen them. They have little grids on the top and you can put those in. I'm going to show you a cheaper version of that. Works just like the $19 to $40 ones. And this is an item. I find these in my Walmart. This is what this is. Glam Beauty. Beauty Tool, Organizer, and Cleaner Set. This is that grid that you slip things down in. It's probably about maybe 1.5 inches tall. I have one downstairs that has crochet hooks in it and also has pins, scissors, all kinds of things that I use. And then this thing here is used to clean your brushes, and you could use it for your beauty tools if you choose. I don't. I use it in my sewing room. This one is for my sewing room. So this will be used to help clean the lint brush from my sewing machine. See? We don't have to use expensive things all the time. We can use cheaper things. So give that a try. I do have a video that I'm going to insert here of some of the yarns that Jeanette had sent for the Prayer Shawl Ministry. And I just took a quick video while we were at the church because we spent 4.5 hours there sorting some things that had to be sorted and rearranging some things so that they're more compact, easier to use. And we had a garage sale. Our church had a garage sale this weekend on Saturday, and we had a lot of people that brought in just some bags of yarn that they had. I had one couple come in. They had told me about, they are in a quilting guild over in Center Hall, and they said they had put on Facebook Marketplace a request for quilting items, and they got a lot of those, and along with that they've got this big huge bag of yarn. Now, they don't use acrylic yarns for tying their quilts or anything, so they brought that to us, and the husband and wife team said they do a lot of garage selling, so they would also, when they're out garage selling, if they find some yarn, ask the people if they'd be willing to donate it for the prayer shawl ministry so that we could use it if they're not using it since it's on sale, or maybe they could get it, you know, really cheap and bring it and drop it off for us. And so we were really grateful for that. And so yeah, we had a lot of yarn to sort through, and it was a bit, some of it was a bit tangled and messy, you know. And sometimes when we get those bags, we find the easiest thing is just dump it. You know, to dump the whole bag on the floor and then pull out what we can and leave the tangles. We have a detangler that detangles things for us. So we called her and asked her if she'd come over and get it. It was a tangle emergency. And the funny thing is, she had been there probably about 10 minutes earlier, banging on the door because our cars were out there. She saw the cars were there, and so she was going to stop by and see if we had anything that she could, you know, that she could detangle. And we were in the back room cleaning it up. The back room we have staged as our area for sorting and stashing yarn until we could get the storage room cleaned out a little bit so we'd have find a place to put the yarn that we have for each month. So we were out there cleaning it up because Al-Anon hasn't been meeting with the pandemic, but they are restarting, and they're starting this Wednesday. So we were cleaning it up and cleaning the tables and making it nice and spiffy, and we left them a welcome note, welcome back, and we made a couple of little pretzel snack bags for them to have, you know, enjoy the snacks, because they always have coffee and tea and stuff like their stuff available for their meetings when they have them. So that was quite fun. You know, we got it cleared off. So she was apparently banging on the door while we were back there, and we didn't hear her. So when we came out and did that, we said, we need to call Deb and see if she can come right away. It's a tangle emergency. So we called her, and she happened to be over at the grocery store about 5 minutes away. Said, when I finish here, I'll stop by and pick it up. She stopped by. She came in. She goes, wow. Because the way that we do things is, when we get donations, is we take them, put them out on all the tables. And once we get them out on the tables, we go through and we say, we can't use this. This needs to go here. So we set it off to a place to go wherever it needs to go. We can't use this. So we need to put it, this separate place. And then we go table by table and we put the reds and pinks together. We put the purples and the mauves together. Put the yellows and the golds together. The greens together. The blues together. Browns, off-white, white, black. We put that all together. So we have an idea of what came in. Do we need to add to things? Do we need to, those kind of things? And are these things that we can use in the prayer shawl ministry? Now, there are a lot of the women that come to the prayer shawl ministry that they don't want anything but a whole skein of yarn. And that's fine. But there are plenty of us that will take the scraps and make something beautiful with those scraps. Either a scrap blanket or squares, granny squares, those kind of things. So that's what we were doing, and she had never seen that part of our process. She goes, wow, this is amazing to see. You know, how you do this and sort and thing, and then we box it up. Like when we box up, we'll box up everything that's in, you know, one color, close colors, like the red, the pinks, the mauves, and the purples were all able to go in one box. Black and whites went all into one, and baby yarns went all into one. You know, yellows, golds, and greens, and blues went in one. And then browns and off-whites, tans went into another one. So we had everything, you know, so we know where it's at, where we can pull it out for the girls to use. So that's what we were doing, and Deb thought that was rather interesting. So, but here's the video of what Jeanette sent, and thank you, Jeanette. We really appreciate it. All right, that's it for this portion. This is going to be added in to a bunch of other things and the regular podcast. I do want to let you know, even though I had planned on the bags being put in the shop for Monday because of the garage sale and some other things that we had to do and the sorting. We were at the church for 5.5 hours today, sorting and finding places for things to go. So I didn't get to do any sewing, didn't get to update. All I have left are to sew the pouches together to put them with the bags. But I don't think I'm going to have time until probably Thursday to put those up in the shop. I'm going to shoot for Wednesday evening, but there's no guarantee. But they will be up by Thursday morning in the shop. I'm hoping that Wednesday I can at least do a video so you can see what's coming up in the shop for that Thursday. That's it. You'll see the rest of this in a little bit. I'll be wearing something different. It'll be during the day instead of at nighttime. Yeah, it's nighttime here. And yeah, my clock is wrong. Way wrong. And batteries. I don't know what it is about these Walmart clocks. They don't really work real well sometimes. So that is it for this portion. I will see you in just a second. Just like that. Okay, I'm opening the box from Jeanette. The one you see, she sent a lovely card with a lovely note in it. And we're thrilled for Christmas cards any time of the year. Now, I received Christmas cards, I think 2 weeks ago from family members. So, you know, I think it's rather cute. All right, we have some lovely, lovely yarns. I've never seen this. The Cherub Aaron by Cascade Yarns. And of course, 2 Just Yarns. Those are fantastic. I don't know if I showed you or not, but that one blanket I did completely in using 15 balls, red, white, and blue, 5 of each, from Just Yarn, from the Dollar Tree. Ooh, I know someone that loves this stuff. Soft Secret by Yarn Bee. And there are 2 skeins of that in the Flamingo. And then, of course, there's some more, my favorite color, greens. And then another one of the Cherub. She sent me some zippers, so those won't be going to the Prayer Shawl Ministry. Those will go home with me. And then we also have a Super Saver Stripes. If I remember correctly, what is this called? Latte Stripes. And guess what, Jeanette? I just donated one of these that's in the back, so we'll put those together when we set them out. And then there is a Knit Picks Brava Bulky. And there is Comfy Cotton Blend, and there is another Comfy Cotton Blend, and these are in the color Spectrum. Now, I have some of the whipped cream, and then someone who is a podcaster, and I don't know if they want me to tell you who sent it, but they sent the two of the poppies, and those will go with the whipped cream and the Spectrums that I have, so we can do some more red, white, and blue. So Jeanette, thank you so much for your card, and thank you for this beautiful shawl. I'll pull that out in a little bit, and we'll get a picture of it to put it in with the video. But thank you, Jeanette, so much for this. This is going to make a lot of happy fingers for our next month's prayer shawl meeting. Thank you again. And voila, I am back. Yes, that is I. Now in that video I had talked about that there was a garage sale the previous weekend, and I think I said that it was for prayer shawl. No, it was a fundraiser for the church. And that's what the garage sale was all about for that. Now, we know you want to see the yarn. And there will be some wad and Tarnation afterwards. Maybe I should do wad and Tarnation first, and then the yarn. No, let's do the yarn first. All right. Now, I did not expect ours to have clearance. This week, for the first month that they're open every week, they do yarn 30% off. So we can expect that for one more week here as well. So I just thought, well, I'm going to get a couple of colors that I needed to get, and the reason I needed to get them is some of those items that were donated to us while the garage sale was going on were some unfinished items, so we need to finish those, and I'm going to put a couple of pictures here so that you can see those. And so the one that I am finishing, weaving in the ends and everything, I'm not real sure if I can find a white that will match it. So if I cannot, I'm going to use this lovely little I Love This Yarn Orchid around the outside of that white with all those colors. I also needed, for another project, to get some peacock. And these were 30% off. Those were the only two items that I paid just 30% off. Oh no, wait a minute. One more. Did almost forget this. And some of the cotton yarn that I got. This is Yarn Bee, soft and sleek. And this is Neon Stripe. And I got two of those at 30% off. Now, the cotton yarn, I love this yarn that I got downstairs. It's in my purse. So it's a white with the different flecks of color. And then I picked up one of the Crafter's Secrets in Iced Mint. And my one friend, when she does her washcloth, she does about half of it, and then she puts a stripe of the scrubby yarn, which she calls the porcupine washcloth. So I got her, these are for her. So I got this Scrapology cotton in Alfresco, I think. Yeah, Alfresco. And that pretty little color. So, and I thought they kind of went together. If she doesn't like that color combination, She can always just do it with plain old white or snowdrifts. This is called snowdrifts. So, there's that. Now, I kept seeing everybody say the dazzling was going away. They were probably going to discontinue it. And I really hope they don't. I hope they're just coming out with new colors. Okay? But I was only able to get one of the Sunburst. And this is the outside of it. Now, the inside of it has that beautiful orangey sunset fall colors on the inside. And it is true. You need to remember these are wound differently. So if you are picking them up and seeing them, to make sure that you are, looking at the names and that kind of thing. And then I got 2 of the Hint of Jasmine. And see, they look totally different, but they are the same yarn. They're just wound up differently. And then I got 3 of the Sand Dollar. And there are those 3. Now look at the variants in all 3 of those. This, at first, I thought was not the Sand Dollar, but it is indeed the Sand Dollar. And that is all the dazzling they had on the shelves in the store in Williamsport. And I was happy to take it from them. Now, the only ice cream yarn I saw was the pistachio color. And of course this was $1.24. And these were $1.49, the dazzlings. Then I picked up, I love this cotton in the color Cotton Candy. And I got 4 of those for 94 cents each. Pardon, 94 cents each. And then I picked up this Premier Bloom Chunky. And I have not used the Chunky, and that is something I wanted to try. And now I'm going to get to. Because I got it for 99 cents. And I got 5 of the Daisy colorway. And that's a real pretty color. And then, of course, it has some hints of pink in it. White with pink. There goes the phone. And then I got 6 of Cactus Bloom. Isn't that real pretty? So I picked up 6 of those. And then I also found Antoinette. Now they had a lot of the Antoinette. But it's one of those, it's a love-hate relationship because of the way that it is. It's almost like a boucle. But I do like the way that it works up. So they had 4 in the color Denim Days. So I picked up all 4 of those. And I didn't get any of the other colors just because I wasn't real thrilled with those other colors. And then I picked up one of the Sweet Divinities because it was the only one they had. And this one was $1.37. These were $1.24. And this was $1.37 in the Berry Purple, the Yarn Bee Sweet Divinity. That's a very pretty color. And I think that this will go nicely with some of the other yarns that I have set aside. Yeah, set aside. Now, I also needed a few items. And the Fiskars, I had one of these before. And it is in some place extremely safe. So they had them off, 50% off, $15.99. You know, I don't mind paying $8 for those. And although this was not supposed to be on sale. She did give it to me for 50% off. And I told her I didn't think that was right. She said, oh no, that's correct. You know, I'm not going to argue with her. I mean, sometimes you just say, okay, fine. Give it to me. And then I did pick up a few different charms and things. Like this was $1.24, a little hummingbird. Because I do like to make stitch markers. And then I got quite a few of these that are 74 cents. And they actually say, smile. It's the same in all languages. And isn't that true? So I got a couple of those. I believe I got 3 or 4 of those. And I picked up 2 of the crosses with the center cut out. And that's the smile. And then I picked up 2 of these that say, just breathe. Yep. And then I also picked up 2 little lucky charms. I think these were 99. This one was $1.04 with the teacup and the tea kettle. So, you know, I don't mind picking up clearance things, those kind of things. And I did pick up a couple of these because I do like to have them in my bags for the stitch markers that are in my little notions pouches. And these are great for hanging those on. And one more thing. I like to go to a lot of Christian concerts at a local church campground area is basically what it is. And of course, Zoology had this on sale. It was 50% off. So I think I paid $4 for it. And although it's an eyeglass case, and it does say, I'm seeing a pattern of excellence. The one thing that I like about this is this will hold a small pair of scissors. It will hold a needle. It will hold a hook. And it will hold a tape measure very easily. And I can either toss that into my purse or I can toss it into my project bag. So I did pick that up. That is it. That is the haul from Hobby Lobby. And no, I didn't plan on it because, you know, it's the year of dun 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 Scorched Earth Challenge. And yes, I do have a little update, and here's that update. Okay, here we go. Scorched Earth. These are all items that are going to the prayer shawl. It's a pretty big, you know, kitchen trash bag full. And then I have a tote full here. And another little bags of odds and ends. And that is it for this month's Scorched Earth. It's going to prayer shawl ministry this time since our yarn is sitting off the coast of California in a ship. All right, that's it. Bye. Here's a better eye view of those things that are in the tote for prayer shawl. As you can see, quite a few things. I have a couple of things for you might enjoy. I also have some shout-outs today. I figured since I didn't have anything finished, didn't have any whips to show you because I've been too busy to do any of that stuff. With the exception of I did start a red, white, and blue corner-to-corner afghan, but it's downstairs. And it's only about maybe this big. So, You know, and I've already got the stripes red, white, and blue. So that's it on that part. Now, for the shout-outs, and you've probably heard all of these shout-outs, with the exception of maybe one, because it's super special. The first one is Crochet with the Mother of Boys, and this is Michele. She is a lover of yarn and crochet. She is the mother of 4 angels and 3 miracles. Amen to that. And she has a rather unique story to tell about her IVF treatments, getting pregnant, those kind of things. And unfortunately, 1 is an angel, 2 is an angel. That happens with IVF, unfortunately. So, but Michele has a lot of things to show and tell you, and I'm loving listening to her talk about it. Talk about how her grandmother influenced her and the memories that she has. So check out Michele's channel. Then there is Happy Gaggle Farm. Now, Happy Gaggle Farm is the farming portion of our Sherry. I think it's Sherry Loves Yarn. I'm going to have to double check, and if it's not, I'm going to have to put it up here on the top. Then there is the Paw Ply Guy, and this is the guy that Crystal introduced us to that has beautiful hand-dyed yarns all the way over in Aberdeen. Is it Aberdeen? Scotland, I believe. So check out that. Daniel is a very nice guy, and he has some beautiful, beautiful yarns. Then there is Tecolote Yarn, and Tecolote Yarn, actually, Tecolote means owl. And this is Paulina. And she is showing us all her wares and lots of fun, lots of information. And I'm really enjoying Paulina's channel. Now, I did say to her that I watched all of her videos with the exception of the yarn review that she did of Crocheting in Agreement, Melissa's channel. I hadn't watched that yet. I'd started watching it, and then we had to go and stopped. And I was like, you know, honey, she's not said her name. Did I miss her name? And he said, well, I think she said her name in this last one. And yes, she did say her name in that one. So there you go. Now this next one is a very special shout out. It's Mr. ScrapTasticyarns channel. And it is called Rock's Couch. He has a rather unusual take on gaming. And that is what his channel is all about. So you might enjoy the humor that he has, and you might want to become one of his couch potatoes. That's all I'm saying. Of course, the links will be all down below, as well as the ones for What in Tarnation. It's all about animals this week. Runaway dog in Manhattan takes the tunnel to Queens. A New York dog who fled from a sitter in Manhattan was found 7 days later in Queens after crossing between the boroughs via the Queens Midtown Tunnel. Heather Angus at Indy, a dog rescued 3 months ago from Kolkata, India, gave a dog sitter the slip on the evening of June 8th on Manhattan's Upper West Side. And aren't we special to have a dog sitter? Angus said sightings reported on the Nextdoor app said Indy was heading south, and just over an hour after her disappearance, the canine was spotted by security cameras at the Queens Midtown Tunnel. I started to feel hopeless, but I received a call that night from a bridge and tunnels officer who said she tried to stop a dog with an appearance similar to Indy while she was bolting through the Queens Midtown Tunnel, Angus told the New York Post. Metropolitan Transportation Authority officials said workers were unable to capture Indy. but they directed tunnel traffic to keep the canine safe during her dash between burrows. Now, that's very sweet of them. Indy emerged on the Queens side of the tunnel and gave MTA workers the slip on the Long Island Expressway. And why wouldn't you there? That's an adventure too. It wasn't until 7 days later that a worker at the warehouse in Queens, Long Island City spotted a dog wandering in an area of the building known to be home to a family of feral cats. Indy has had a royal adventure. Then he went to lunch and he saw the flyer with the phone number, and that's how he knew that this was the lost dog. Angus told WNBC TV. Angus said Indy now has some scraps and a black tar stuck to her fur. She said the dog was dehydrated and had lost about a pound of weight, but she is doing well at home once again. Ducks. They're quite adorable little creatures. Duck family waddles into New York bagel shop. A New York man who helped a mother duck and her 8 ducklings cross a busy road captured video of the moment the family of birds strolled into a Brooklyn bagel shop. Doug Gordon said he and some other bystanders helped guide traffic in the Park Slope neighborhood when the family of ducks emerged from under a van and attempted to cross the busy road. They went right out into the street. A couple of us jumped out to stop traffic so they didn't get run over. And then they got to the other side. It was adorable. A real Brooklyn steps up sort of moment. New Yorkers taking charge, Gordon told Gothamist. Gordon was filming video of the birds when the mother duck led her babies right through the door of Bagel World Park Slope. And if you listen to someone in the background, they said they are the best bagels in the world. They were in there a couple of minutes. He didn't see what was happening inside, Gordon said. I don't know whether they decided to come out because they didn't see anything on the menu they liked or if they were chased out. Gordon said other witnesses to the duck family's travels reported the birds eventually made it to safety in Prospect Park. When Gordon returned a little while later, he overheard people talking about the duck videos he had taken. Someone said they had led them up to Prospect Park, so they did get there safely, he added. They waddled into the woods, so it's a happy ending. We should all be glad this didn't turn into a duck emergency requiring SWAT cops, as happened in 2019 when the NYPD was called in to recover 3 baby waterfowl who fell through a storm grate. Now this next one, you can't blame the woodpecker, but it's rather cute watching him peck away at this certain object. Woodpecker destroys nature camera at Russian Nature Reserve. A nature reserve in Russia said a nature camera disguised as a piece of bark had an unintended consequence when it was destroyed by a hungry woodpecker. And I'm gonna butcher this name. The Nizhyn Sversky Nature Reserve in Leningrad Oblast said in a Facebook post that the black woodpecker, nicknamed Zelna by researchers, apparently was hunting for insects when it unintentionally committed vandalism on the camera. The reserve shared video of the woodpecker methodically pecking away at the camera until it broke. Zelna quickly discovered the camouflage device and for several days methodically hit the camera, the post said. The reserve said the camera has been removed for repairs and will likely be out of commission for some time. This next story is absolutely amazing. Lumberjack rescues crows from felled tree, teaches them to log roll. A Nova Scotia lumberjack who rescued 3 young crows from a felled tree said the birds are now thriving and he's taught them how to log roll. Darren Hudson of Barrington said he was on the job in early June when he felled a tree and discovered he had disturbed the nest of 3 young crows. When it came crashing to the ground, these guys were sitting there looking up at me, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this," Hudson told Saltwire. He put the crows in a box and left them in a nearby open field. But there was no sign of the birds' parents. That's sad. I kept them in the box, wide open in the field that I was working on that day, but the parents weren't around, so I took them home that night, Hudson told Global News. The lumberjack said he tried again the next day, but there was no sign of the mother and father crow, so he took it upon himself to finish raising the birds to adulthood. "We're just good buddies. We've really bonded, maybe spiritually," he said. One of the crows has a foot injury and is currently living with some friends who have experience with animal rehabilitation, but the other 2 have become Hudson's near constant companions. Hudson, who has been chronicling his life with the crows on YouTube, said he has now taught the birds how to log roll. Of course, they have good balance, but these guys really took to it. It was no problem for them to jump on the log, and they stayed right there. And I rolled that log back and forth, and they really enjoyed it, he said. Hudson said they showed real skill at the sport. They're not as fast as a dog, but they can stay right up there. And if they start to get too far back on the log, they flap their wings, and it brings them right on top again, so that they might have got their tail feathers wet, but I couldn't dunk them, Hudson said. And there is an interview with him and the crows, and they do come at his command. It's rather interesting. Now, I am going to tell you a little story. And it's something that happened to me when I went to the post office to pick the package up from Jeanette. I stopped, I got out of the car. Now I'm going to tell you what this is called. In our church, we talk about things that happen to us throughout the day, throughout the week, and we call them holy moments. Because it's a moment. It just makes you understand there is a greater being and more things out there than we realize. I got out of the car, and the first thing I noticed is there was this bee hovering in the road. But I looked where the bee was hovering at, and it was over a larger bumblebee. Now the bumblebee that was hovering over it, the bumblebee that was on the ground, I didn't know if it was dead. I didn't know if it was injured or if it had been stunned. And I thought, I'm going to go back in. I'm going to go ahead and go get the package. When I come back out, if they're still there, I'll stop and video. Because it really looked like the bee that was buzzing around the one that was on the ground was communicating with it. And we know bees have their own language. So I'm sure it was, like, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Do I need to go get help? Buddy, are you okay?" But the bee that was hovering was already gone when I got back to the car. And the bee that was laying on the ground was now upright and took off in flight right in front of me. That was a holy moment. Go throughout your days and see if you can find a holy moment or one of those moments that you just go, there is something greater in this universe. All right, everybody. Have a great day. Be blessed, and I will see you again soon. Bye.